Protecting Australian wildlife is at the very core of what we do here at Australia Zoo, but that goes beyond the animals that we have here in our grounds. It's also all about our wildlife hospital, where we conserve beautiful native animals, rehabilitate them and release them back out into the wild so that your buddies out in the wild are safe. Let's go have a look at some of our most recent patients. Welcome to the Australia Zoo Wildlife Hospital for a very exciting day. We have got a brand new clutch of carpet pythons. Now, this is something that we see quite frequently here at the hospital, where someone will be doing some renovations, maybe some excavation, maybe that's a building site, some sort of construction happening, and lo and behold, they'll run into a clutch of reptile eggs. And once they run into that clutch, once they're disturbed, they're really not able to survive in the wild. But we can take them into the hospital. We've got an incubator where at the moment we've got nearly 30 clutches of a million different species of animal, where we can actually give them the opportunity to hatch out and be released back into the wild. Today, we're looking at baby carpet pythons. How cool is that? Now, naturally, these guys have a big clump of eggs. They're not like a chicken egg. They're not these perfect hard round eggs. They're actually kind of pliable, and the little ones here crack out of that egg when they're the right size, and as soon as they hatch, they are ready to go and have to fend for themselves. Now, we're going to transport them into this tub here now that they've started hatching. But have a look at that, different stages. You can see this guy, a few of these are completely out, ready to go, but look at this one. He's just taking his first look at the world. Isn't that special? Now, this is a very vulnerable time for them. So, you gotta make sure you got nice, clean hands. And I'm just gonna be removing the ones that have already hatched. We're gonna place them in here, and once the last one is all hatched out, then we're gonna release them into the wild. Right, here we go, let's see, where are you, little noodle? You're like a little spaghetti noodle. Look at that. Yep, this guy's completely out. Wow. Isn't that amazing? I just think it's such a privilege to be part of their very first moments on Earth. Isn't that just so cool? Look at that little head. And they really do look very similar to a large adult, just shrunken way down. This guy, believe it or not, he's gonna get over 6 feet long. He's gonna get huge, but he does have the odds stacked against him. He's got to survive, he's got to etch out a living. But being a wild snake, that's what he's got to do. Look at him, already instinctively, he knows to wrap around and to hold on. He's flicking his tongue to smell. Of course, snakes, they can't hear, so they really rely on movement and their vision and that great sense of smell. Let's grab a couple more. Who else has hatched out? I think you're completely free, are you? Oh, that is so cool. Oh, there's his little buddy. Look at that. Isn't that just amazing? Oh man, absolutely love them. Let's grab another one. Oh. Oh. Wow. Tell you what, sometimes, every now and again, even though they're very small, they can be incredibly feisty and very bitey. Now, at this size, they are looking for very, very small things to eat. Really, really small. But as they grow, their prey gets bigger. Are you out? Yep, you're out of the egg. Here you are. At full size, these guys will use that technique of constriction to catch really big prey. Something the size of a possum, no worries at all. Look at that. Just gorgeous. Oh, that's so cool. It is something that I think it's important to note. Whenever we're at the hospital, particularly when you get this season where there's so many reptiles that are hatching out, yeah, you do think about just how many lives are saved. Hundreds upon hundreds. And in a year, busy year, we're looking at something like plus 10, 11,000 patients that are actually coming through our doors. And it's a sobering thought to think if the wildlife hospital wasn't here. And that's why rehabilitation of the individual eventually can stack up to really making a good difference for an entire species. All right, look at these guys. So it's great to see now getting them out and about. I know that they're strong, they're healthy, all of those instincts are there. They're climbing, they're smelling, they really look quite good. So let's pop them in here now. Out of their hatch container, and they've graduated to their, well, release container. They're nearly ready. Once their mates are out of the eggs, they're gonna be released back to the wild. What do you think? I think they like me too much. You gotta come off here. You gotta learn to fend for yourself, guys. I can't come with you. Look at this, it's like a full clump of snakes. Oh, wiggle them off. There we go. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. There you go. Oh, that is so cool. All right, guys. In you get. There they go. Let them all go off in their separate ways. Fantastic. Oh, I absolutely love carpet pythons. A fairly common species around here, but really important. They are actually one of our larger predators in the area. And being a big predator, they are a very important species, really, really crucial in the ecosystem. So every single one that you're getting back out into the wild is really important. Fantastic. Oh, that's great. That made my day. Okay, guys, get busy hatching. You got work to do. I'm about to show you someone very cute, a ringtail possum that happens to be one of the cutest animals that we ever see in our wildlife hospital. They are very special. I'm gonna let him have a little peek and then let him get back down into that little pouch. But look at this little face. What a stunning little critter. Aren't they just amazing? Now this one, unfortunately, is an orphan. And this is something that we see frequently at the wildlife hospital here. Often, as is the case with this little one, the mum was actually hit by a car. But it is incredible what the little ones can endure. Anything that has a pouch that is unfortunate enough to get hit by that car, that little one in there often survives. And this guy, even though he had a few mild injuries, he was able to pull through and now is cleared to be taken over to a carer that specialises in giving him the round-the-clock care that he needs to get to a larger size when he can fend for himself, and then will be released back out into the wild. But these guys are getting around mostly at night. So he has a little peek, has a good look around, and then it's time to get back inside that pouch. Isn't that awesome? Oh, very cute. So we talk a lot at our wildlife hospital about some of the mammals that we get in, particularly koalas. But I think it's important to remember that the animal that we actually see, more than any other, is birds. Yes, that's you. You're a bird. Now, birds are very, very vulnerable, particularly when they're this size. Weather events that are natural weather events can be really detrimental. We see them coming out of nests all the time. But the amount of unnatural pressure that's placed on birds and all of the animals in the local area mean that when a natural disaster occurs, it can be even more catastrophic because birds are falling into people's backyards where there's domestic animals. They're near roads, they're near civilization, and habitat is becoming less dense and a lot more few and far between. So every single individual is very important. We see more birds than any other type of animal, and we have specialized areas to care for them and to make sure they get the round-the-clock feeding that they need. As you can see, they're a little bit needy. They always want their food, and these guys have got, yes, I'm talking about you. I'm sorry I called you needy, but let's be honest, you are. Yes, got to keep them humble. Now, now at this size, they are trying to eat as much as possible, and of course in the wild, their parents are bringing them food, but here, of course, they don't have that luxury because they don't have their mum, so we have to be that for them. We have to give them food round the clock and make sure that they're well cared for The other thing we need to maintain is temperature. It's very important that these guys have a good, consistent, healthy temperature too. We actually have a ward in here that is dedicated to baby animals and particularly baby birds because they are very, very vulnerable.
Watch out! Whoa, 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 whoa. Danger, danger, danger. I thought you clicked on that. Now, whatever you do, don't click on it. That's danger, remember? No clicking, no clicking.